We wish to acknowledge this land on which the Church operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and most recently, the Mississaugas of the Credit River. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous peoples from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have this opportunity to meet on this land.
Today is the National Day of Prayer for Indigenous Peoples. And so I'm going to tell you a story that is not a Godly Play story, but what we call a story in the style of Godly Play, but one that's very applicable to what we're remembering today. This is the story of Mary Brant, an 18th century Mohawk woman. We remember Molly during the season of Easter, the time for the color white. But why do we remember Mary Brant? Well, let's see. In the beginning, the baby was born and was given the English name Mary. Although from an early age, she was always known as Molly. She was also given the Mohawk name Kanwatsa Yageni, which means someone lends me a flower. Molly's parents were Mohawk Christians, and they lived in what is now upstate New York in the United States. Molly was born into a family of chieftains. When she was a child, she went to an Anglican mission school, where she learned to speak English just as fluently as her native tongue. Growing up, she also observed both European and Iroquois traditions. In 1759, when Molly was about 20 years old, she met Sir William Johnson, who was the British agent for Indigenous affairs. Soon after, they were married, according to Mohawk rites. And together, they had 9 children. We will have just this one. Sadly, one of their children died when just a baby. The people of Molly's community admired her dignity and wisdom in the way of 2 cultures, and continued to show her great respect even after Sir William died in 1774. Now, Mohawk mothers had great influence within their nation, and Molly played an important role in convincing her people to remain true to the British Crown during the American Revolution. But she and her family paid a terrible price. The rebels destroyed their house and forced them to go into exile. They could not return home. Molly eventually settled at Cataraqui, which today is known as Kingston, Ontario. The British government built her a new house and gave her a generous pension. Molly was one of the founding members of St. George's Anglican Church, a church which still stands today. Molly Brant died on April 16th, 1796, and was mourned greatly by both the United Empire Loyalists and by her own Mohawk people. We remember Molly Brant for her loyalty to her family, to her people, to her country, and all for God. Now, I wonder what part of this story you like the best. I wonder what part of this story is the most important part. It might be the same as what you like the best, but it could be different. I wonder if there's any part of the story we could have taken out and still had all the story that we need. And I wonder where you are in this story, or what in this story is about you. Maybe you can have that discussion with your family or whoever you're watching this story with. I wonder what part you like the best. I wonder what part is the most important part. I wonder if there's any part we could take out and still have everything we need. And I wonder where you are in the story, or what in the story is about you. I wanted to show you this picture again. We don't really have any paintings or portraits of Molly Brant, but this picture was actually put on a stamp that Canada Post produced in the 1980s to commemorate Molly Brant. And it's meant to show the sort of the three sides of Molly Brant, the Mohawk, the European, and the Loyalist. As I said, this was put on a stamp, but that was back in the 1980s, so I don't know if those stamps are around anymore. But it's an interesting picture, isn't it? Well, thank you for joining me for this story. As I said, this is the National Indigenous Day of Prayer. We will be following that theme as well when we gather for worship in just a few moments. So please stay with us, and we'll start our worship live stream at 10:30.